What's happening, everybody? It's Troy here. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today I'm so excited because I'm going to be bringing to you a new series called Hybrid Highlights. And this is going to be just like my species spotlights, only we're going to be talking about hybrid, guys, both primary and intergeneric hybrids. This might be something that I enjoy growing or something that's really popular in cultivation. And in this, we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks for care or how I'm taking care of it, really. And then we're also going to be talking about some highlights of these orchids. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, please stick around with me. But before we get into the video, if maybe I could talk you guys into liking it and then of course subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell, guys. I sure do appreciate it. And with that said, let's get into this video. Welcome to the first video of my new series, guys. I figured I would start this off with a great, in my opinion, hybrid. And this is Cattleya aurora. Let me show you the bloom real quick so you can see. It is starting to go over. I think it probably has just a few days left. So you can't really see the vibrancy of the lip. We'll get into all of that in just a minute, and I can always insert some photos that I have from this orchid, but we're going to start at the very beginning. So this is Cattleya aurora. This is a remake that I purchased from Ecogenera in 2024. This spring, I saw a video that they had uploaded onto their Instagram and it captivated me, and I went and purchased it immediately the same day they released that video. It is originally made by Vec, however, in 1905. And this is a primary hybrid. So this is going to have 50% of Cattleya dowiana and 50% of Cattleya luteola in the background. So let's talk about those guys for a minute, and then we can understand maybe better care and cultivation of this primary hybrid. So Cattleya dowiana can be a little bit finicky, a little bit tricky to grow, and Cattleya luteola is quite the opposite. They're both from regions of warmer temperatures. So Cattleya dowiana comes from Costa Rica and Colombia and does not like to go below 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Cattleya luteola is from Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil, and Ecuador, and it is coming from the Amazonian regions. So it's used to having warmer temperatures and can easily handle 70 degrees around there at night, and then upwards of 85 degrees during the day. That being said, though, Cattleya luteola, in my personal opinion, is a little bit easier to cultivate, and I'll talk to you real quick on how I take care of that so we can, again, better understand the care to give to our Cattleya aurora. But Cattleya luteola, I keep under bright light with my other Cattleyas. So I grow under Barina lights in the orchid room, and that's where she lives. And she's about under 3 or 4 of the actual tubes. So just a reference, my Phalaenopsis and my Bulbophyllums are either under 1 or 2 of the Barina tubes. So my Cattleyas are under 3 or 4, it just varies shelf to shelf. So they're receiving good light, medium to bright light, we can call that. And Cattleya luteola, I water year round and I reduce fertilizer, but I still feed year round. I'm growing in inert media, so I like to ensure that my orchids are at least getting something. And easy grower so far. I have her in sheath. I haven't actually bloomed her, so when she does decide to bloom, this will be a first time blooming on luteola. Cattleya dowiana's conditions are a little bit different. Does not like to go below 65 degrees Fahrenheit. However, she likes a dry winter rest, so no fertilizer and very minimal watering. Especially in the month of December and January, you can rot them out pretty easily. They're very sensitive to being overwatered. So they come with a little bit of a little bit more depth of care, but still fairly easy as long as you follow some basic guidelines. But overwatering being the main one. So with luteola being easier to grow and Dowiana a little bit more finicky, this actually, thank goodness, takes after luteola. I feed this year round and I continue to water it just like I do the rest of my collection. So it is reduced fertilizer in the winter months and it is reduced irrigation. So I don't water as frequently in the winter months. However, I still do. With Cattleya dowiana, if you don't give her a good dry winter rest, you're not going to get a really good blooming on her the following year in the summer. Luteola, it doesn't seem to matter whether you continue to water or not. I would recommend that you do though, because it is a miniature, and with a lot of smaller Cattleyas, they're more sensitive to drought. So it's something to keep an eye on. And I would treat her in regards of care more like the luteola. So with that said, let's get into the blooms and why I love this orchid so much. So as you can see, it has both characteristics. It has a nice, beautiful star-shaped petals, the five-pointed star. And then if you look, that lip resembles a lot of the Dowiana. It's hard to see right now. I'll have to insert a picture because the lip is a lot more vibrant. And when it's more vibrant, I think it looks a lot more like the Dowiana in the lip. But it's so appealing to the eye. It's nice and clean against that nice star-shaped background. I think the yellow background behind it really makes the lip pop. It definitely inherited the Dowiana lip. It has the nice like golden tones that come down through the column. And then once you get to the lip, you have that nice crimson. It's like a deep crimson color that it finishes with. And man, this orchid has fragrance like no other. It is a wonderful, so if you think like high-end designer soap, like bar soap, high-end designer, think of like a powdery lemon bar of soap and then add some exotic spices, maybe some Indian spices to it, and then finish with a little bit of vanilla and honey. And that's this orchid scent. She perfumes very heavy. She grows in the orchid room, and that faces the eastern side of the house. And so when the morning light hits the orchid room, she perfumes the loudest right now. Her fragrance is starting to die out because her flowers are starting to die out. I noticed this morning I couldn't smell her as strong as I had been able to, which is a bummer because, man, I mean, she packs a punch with the fragrance. It's definitely worth the while. Like I said, I got this from Equinera, and I'm pretty sure that they still have some in stock if anybody is interested. But I just think that this is a really nice hybrid. You know, that definitely created something beautiful. It has the best, I think, of both the Luteola and the Dowiana, but the fragrance just, it takes it home. It takes this to a whole nother level. I really enjoy primary hybrids. I find them to be a little bit easier than the species, and then they can bloom a little bit more. For example, this one bloomed for the first time, I believe in June it was, so summertime bloomer, Dowiana, right? And now we are in September, and this is her second bloom show. So I'm pretty impressed for it being her first year blooming. Um, and then she has another growth coming back here. So maybe I will get another show, or maybe she'll just, sheath up and then hold on to her sheath until next summer, or even in the spring. I don't know. I have another primary hybrid that blooms 3 or 4 times a year, so that could be possible. I still have only had this plant for a little bit over a year. We're getting ready to come up on 2 years this coming spring, the spring of 2026. So only time will tell to see how much I actually will get this hybrid to bloom. But I think she's fantastic. I think that if you're a Cattleya lover and a fragrance lover, that this would be perfect. I think she is on the little bit of the easier side with medium to bright light. I have mine growing in lava rock. I just watered, so the roots are nice and hydrated. But she's in lava rock. I would definitely with the Dowiana in the background, I would keep her in something free draining. For mine, I water her once a week in the summertime, and then once every other week in the wintertime. I just soak her for 10 minutes in this pot. I just poured her nutrient solution in there and let her soak for about 10 minutes, and she's totally happy with that. Um, but I wouldn't put her in something that's not going to dry out quickly. You have high potential of rotting the roots. I don't push it knowing that she has Dowiana in the background, and I have a Dowiana who is sensitive to everything. So I am mindful of that. But I think it's a little bit more sturdier because it has that luteola, and luteola is pretty tough. You can grow them in higher light, lower light. They prefer warmer conditions, but I'm sure you could get away with growing them in cooler conditions. Um, I think if anybody's interested, they should definitely pick up this hybrid. I know that other people must have gotten theirs around the same time, as I've seen a few of these open this spring. And for the most part, they all look the same, but some of them I've noticed details in the lip are different. There are minor variations. So, with that said, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being a part of this new series on my channel. And I hope to see you guys in the near future. You all take care and have yourself a good evening.